All right, Reggie here. I got my man Davey Suicide on the phone. How's it going today, dude?
It's great, man. Good to be alive.
Yeah, definitely, man. We got the new album coming out not too long from now. I had a chance to check this thing out and review it, man, and I fell in love with this album. I was even listening to it a little bit ago today, man. I love it. I know that pretty much everybody here is going to love this album too, man. How excited are you to get this thing out?
We're really excited. I mean, we've been sitting on it for over a year, and we put so much time, and we're such perfectionists as artists, so we wanted to make everything as perfect as we could, you know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah, man, it has that I don't want to say old school, but it has that classic industrial metal sound to it that, like, you don't hear that hardly at all anymore, except for, like, maybe Manson, Orgy. And to me, it's awesome, man. Is that what you guys were going for?
I mean, those are like part of our predecessors that influenced our sound a lot. So yeah, of course we're into that. And there's been a big void. I mean, Nails has been gone, and Manson, he's still around, but his best work hasn't happened in a while. And Zombie's still out killing it, but I feel like there's a big void there, and we're ready to take it.
Yeah, definitely. There's very few bands that are coming out, especially coming out now, that can capture really the essence of, industrial and metal, and really mesh them together and put together a great final product. One of those bands I think is Vampires Everywhere, which you're actually out on tour with right now, which is really cool. Orgy and Vampires Everywhere with Davey Suicide. That's got to be one amazing tour right there.
Yeah, it's been great. We're a few weeks into that tour, and I think it's cool to be out with heavy bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I've never had a chance to sit down with the guys from Orgy or talk to them, but I've had a chance to talk to Michael from Vampires Everywhere a couple times, and he's probably one of the most down to earth guys I've had a chance to sit down with and talk to. But they also know how to go up on stage and just tear it apart, which is what it's all about. And from what I've heard, you guys do a really good job at doing that too. I've heard nothing but good things about your live show. So how long does it take to really plan out the live show and the set list and all that stuff for you guys?
It's been, honestly, like, we only practice a couple times before we leave for tour. I think everyone just knows their mission and their role, and everything musically and performance-wise with this band has been so organic that we haven't really had to, like, work at doing that part of it at all. It's something that probably on the surface seems like we put a lot of time planning out, but everything's just kind of happened naturally, and I think that's one of the most special things. Nothing's been forced in this band. It's just kind of evolved the way I guess it was supposed to, and it's translating well.
Nice. I think that's really one of the most important parts about making music, and just having the profession that you have is it has to be natural, and you have to just let it flow. Because when you start to force it, that's when you lose everything, and that's when your end product just isn't as good as it could be, and I think fans end up picking up on that as well. I think it's really important to keep it. Yeah.
Fans aren't stupid. They can tell when it's authentic, and they can tell when it's contrived, and I think that's the biggest problem with music in the last, 5 to 10 years. There's been so many manufactured artists, and fans are just tired of it, but they're not. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still there. They just want a reason to fall in love again. And I think that's one thing that's special about our band, and it's obvious from the second you see us that this band is the real deal.
Yeah, definitely. And just listening to this album, it's one of those albums that you can listen to from start to finish, and it just flows beautifully. It's artistic. It's creative. It's just all around. It's just all around good. And so I think that when fans hear it, they're gonna really, really like what they hear. I mean, obviously they've heard a couple songs, a couple singles here and there. Generation Fuck Star, of course, which is an awesome song. But yeah, I mean, you're not doing this by yourself. You've got an amazing band behind you. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, just the band and what they bring to the table as well?
Well, I mean, Niels and Frankie are, you know, the songwriting core with me, and we pine and contrive, like, just, you know, conjure up these crazy ideas and write songs. And, you know, we did all this record in-house. You know, we didn't hire a big producer to do it, and we just kind of had a vision. But we've always just been this trifecta team, and you know, Draven on drums brings such a different element to, like, our live show, and we put this live rig and the light rig together for this tour and for the rest of the year. Like, he was really instrumental in that, and Ashes is just a great rock and roll guitar player, you know, so we all have our roles, we all have strengths in different areas, and, you know, it's kind of like when you assemble it together, it's like a Voltron.
Nice.
Pretty sick.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, they're all just outstanding musicians and great writers, and it's very clear and obvious when you hear every single song on this album. It's very rare to see an album come out that doesn't have a low point or anything like that on it. Usually you'll get a CD that's like, there's a couple songs I'm like, you know. I didn't see any of those tonight, you know.
Well, I mean, our manager is Rob McDermott, who managed Linkin Park, and he was Linkin's manager for the first, you know, 4 or 5 albums, and Hybrid Theory was like a big album for them, and the whole thing was great from top to bottom, and that's what we wanted to do, is put together something that was, as soon as you're done, you wanted to put it back in it, and there was no filler. I think that's the, you know, everything has to be great, and it can be great if you take your time and you do it well and you don't slap it together, and that was important to us, and we have such high expectations and high standards for what we do, so we weren't going to let anything less than great get onto this record, because we feel like the fans deserve nothing but that.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and I definitely think that that's exactly what's gonna, you know, that's exactly what they're gonna get, is nothing less of great. You know, I was reading through your bio not too long ago. It said that your 3 patron saints growing up were Axl Rose, Marilyn Manson, and Eminem. First off, that's got to be almost the most eclectic and just diverse group in, you know, music as far as rock, metal, and, you know, genre-wise. You know, would you say that those were your biggest influence, or what does it mean when you say those were the 3 patron saints?
I feel like all 3 of them kind of dominated what they did. I mean, they're different stylistically, but in the way that they conduct themselves as frontmen, as leaders, and as, you know, spokesmen for their groups, I thought that they were like, they didn't care, and they didn't conform to an industry, and they made people turn their heads and pay attention to them, because they did stuff and with such conviction that it was impossible to ignore them. And I think that's what characteristically all those guys have in common. And then lyrically, I just think that they're on another level, you know, and you know, I strive to be that great lyrically one day.
Awesome, man. I would say that there's definitely a reason that all 3 of them are still going strong, still doing what they do, and still bringing in the big crowds, and still being, you know, successful at what they do. You know, they all went away for a little bit and came back, and they're almost just as strong as they were to begin with. You know, they stuck through all the controversy. They stuck through, you know, everything that was bad, and they're still going. You know, and I think that says a lot, especially with Axl, with all of the bad publicity and bad rap he gets. I mean, the guy's still going. You know, so that's what it's important.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's awesome to see. You know, I was looking at the website not too long ago, and I saw something about paintings. It looks like you do some art and painting off to the side. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm painting like multimedia, like acrylic, spray paint, marker, like cuttings from magazines, and just kind of like putting it all together. I'm just big in layering in general, whether it's music or painting or making clothes. It's all, they kind of like there's a synergy there to it. And painting's a cool release. I don't get to do it as much as I would like to now, but, you know, I do put my stuff up online, and whenever I finish it and stuff, and try to share it with everybody. So everyone seems to take to it.
Nice. If people haven't had a chance to see any of your artwork yet, what's the best place they can go to find Davey Suicide's paintings and art?
It's just daveysuicide.bigcartel.com. That's where all the stuff that's not music related is for me.
Okay, cool. As far as artists and painting and that world, what would you say is your biggest influence, and what got you interested in that side of art and creativity?
I mean, I love Dali. And visually, even though he's not a painter or anything, I love like Tim Burton type stuff. But Dali had a way of just kind of like warping reality, and just his spin on how he viewed things was just really interesting to me. I think everyone can see the world black and white, and, see that an apple's red, but he can change it and morph it into something from a different perspective that you're like, wow, I never thought about it that way. And I think it's the important thing with any artistic interpretation is to spin it in a different light so that people can enter a different realm that they wouldn't normally go down,
Nice. That's interesting. It's I was checking out a lot of your artwork earlier, and it's really cool. It's different. It's awesome. I love it. It's really cool. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to check it out, they absolutely need to go check this stuff out. It's really cool. Like we talked about earlier, the Orgy Vampires Everywhere Davey Suicide Tour just kicked off, just underway, or the very beginning stages. After this tour is over, I know it's a ways down the road. What do you guys have in the books for the rest of the year? Have you looked past this tour, or are you just kind of taking it one thing at a time?
Oh no, we got the rest of the year stacked. We're just we have to kind of like can't announce the rest of the year until the task at hand is finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, definitely.
Our management agency, and we're booked, especially since the record's coming out and stuff. We're going to be gone for most of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man. If you guys hit the Indianapolis area or anywhere in Indiana, I gotta come out and check you guys out, man. I'm dying to see you live. Love the album. Gotta see the live show now. Anyone out there who has not seen Davey Suicide, get out there, check this tour out. It's got to be awesome. Man, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And March 19th, everyone get the record.
Yes, coming out early next week, Tuesday, baby. Check it out. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, see you later.